Good morning, everyone. We'll start our opening prayers on page 12 in the blue prayer book. The 7 branches of the mantra that are called the Sergangma. I gaze upon the Supreme Self-Arisen Lama, seated on the immutable, spontaneously established throne, here in the mandala of primordially pure mind, as it is, in the supreme palace of all the victorious ones of the 3 times. I gaze upon the Supreme Lama, who is meaningful to behold. The instant I behold that great bliss of Dharmadhatu, I cross the vast ocean of samsara and arrive at the blissful pure ground. With the eye of wisdom, I gaze unwaveringly upon the Lama, the victorious hero in battle. Just by remembering that refuge, all afflictive emotions, thoughts, and hordes of Maras are defeated. In your body, the victorious ones of the 3 times of all the 10 directions appear, together with their offspring. With joy, I gaze upon your body adorned with all the major and minor marks, seated on the throne of fearlessness, lotus, sun, and moon. 3 kayas, the nature of the mind. Vajradhara, you are inseparable from great bliss. Bowing down to you with innumerable bodies like cloud banks, yearning with a full voice, I prostrate and go for refuge. Your body, the nature of precious bodhicitta, is inseparable from all the victorious ones of the three times. Thus, all the Buddha fields are permeated by your body, and within your body, all Buddha fields appear. I bow down to the glorious one. With your flawless, melodious speech like an ocean of ambrosia, you show all phenomena to be unborn, thereby defeating the Mount Meru of views. I prostrate to your unhindered Vajra speech. In the mandala of immutable mind beyond thought, you never move from the equanimity state of Dharmadhatu, yet you hold the wisdom power of knowing the three times. I prostrate to the spontaneously established non-duality. Even if expressed during all oceans of kalpas by all the victorious ones without exception, qualities of your body, speech, and mind would not be completed. I prostrate to you who possesses limitless qualities. Until the ocean of samsara is exhausted, you perform the supreme activities that ripen all sentient beings. I prostrate to you, the Lama, who is manifold, effortlessly arising, unceasing, supreme refuge. Oceans of emanated offerings to you delight the victorious ones and ripen all sentient beings. Having completely filled the Dharmadhatu, make this unsurpassed offering unceasingly. From the heart palace of the great being radiates the light of immeasurable bodhicitta. Thus, in all the pure lands of the 10 directions, innumerable beautiful offering goddesses manifest, holding water, flowers, incense, lamps, supreme scents, and food. From the cloud banks of offerings rain falls, delighting the victorious ones of the three times, thereby filling the spheres of realms. I make offerings to the victorious ones of the three times. Light radiates once more from the body of the victorious one, manifesting parasols, victory banners, draped banners, canopies, musical instruments, garments, precious jewels, medicine, and grains. I offer ocean-like cloud banks of these manifold offerings. The 7 precious royal attributes like the wheel, the 7 subsidiary ones like the mansion, the auspicious substances, the substances of the cities, and so on, have arisen from the 2 accumulations. Please accept these offerings. Furthermore, I behold in my mind and offer to the protector of offerings throughout the limitless pure lands of the victorious ones that belong to an owner and do not belong to an owner, and all that is worthy to be offered. I offer all pure lands of the victorious ones of the three times, which are the very pure mandalas of the 3 kayas, completely filled with flawless prosperity. Please accept these offerings, you Lord of compassion. To you, protector, I offer my body, speech, and mind, all wealth equal to space without exception, and all the virtues accumulated in the 3 times. Out of compassion, please accept these for the benefit of all sentient beings. By seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and recollecting the Vajra goddesses of form, sound, odor, taste, and tangible objects, the 3 obscurations are purified. I offer the goddesses of sensual objects to you. Please accept them, immaculate, victorious Lord. The Vajra goddess of body, nature of form, is the supreme goddess of fully purified ignorance. I merge her with the eyes of the Lama, Lord of the Dharma. Please accept this in the great bliss of non-duality. The Vajra goddess of mind, nature of sound, is the supreme goddess of fully purified hatred. I merge her with the ears of the Lama, Lord of the Dharma. Please accept this in the great bliss of non-duality. The Vajra goddess of qualities, nature of odor, is the supreme goddess of fully purified arrogance. I merge her with the nose of the Lama, Lord of the Dharma. Please accept this in the great bliss of non-duality. The Vajra goddess of speech, the nature of taste, is the supreme goddess of fully purified desire. I merge her with the tongue of the Lama, the Lord of the Dharma. Please accept this in the bliss of non-duality. The Vajra goddess of activity, nature of tangible objects, is the supreme goddess of fully purified jealousy. I merge her with the body of the Lama, Lord of the Dharma. Please accept this in the bliss of non-duality. The Vajra goddess of primordially emptiness of all phenomena, nature of sound, is the supreme goddess of fully purified mind as it is. I merge her with the mind of the Lama, Lord of the Dharma. Please accept this in the great bliss of non-duality. I offer means and wisdom inseparable, the Supreme Victorious One, the 5 families with consorts, the assembly of Viras and Dakinis, and the Buddhas filling the limitless sky. Please accept this great bliss. From the equality of all phenomena, the ocean-like samadhi, oceans of unwavering manifestations arise and guide all beings. Please accept the assemblies of the victorious offspring, the bodhisattvas who rule all Buddha fields. The ones of great, fierce, wrathful, out of immeasurable compassion, show grinding teeth and fierce faces on their posing bodies. Please accept these wrathful, victorious ones of primordial wisdom, who defeat the hordes of Maras by the roar of Hung and Pet. All manifold clouds of outer, inner, and secret offerings are offered in this vast mandala of Samantabhadra's mind. Within the mode of abiding, of unchanging non-duality, the unsurpassed offering of suchness is offered. All phenomena are primally and completely pure mind as it is. Within that, whatever confusion, dualistic appearance of oneself and others, distinction of good and bad, hatred and attachment there might be, each and everything I confess, may it be purified within that state. With a happy mind, I rejoice in all the virtues of all the victorious ones of the 3 times, the assemblies of all the superior ones, of the unceasing wheel of the 2 accumulations, and of sentient beings. I beseech you, protectors in the worlds of the 10 directions, by completely turning the wheel of stainless Dharma with sound of ocean-like branches of melodious speech, please ripen all sentient beings without exception. I beseech you, protectors who abide throughout all realms, please do not pass into nirvana until the exhaustion of the dhatu of space. Rather, fulfill your commitments by abiding permanently. May all sentient beings be established in the unsurpassed supreme state by this virtue. By the virtues accumulated in the 3 times throughout all samsara and nirvana, and by the undefiled innate virtue. By the light rays of immeasurable great compassion from the palace of body, speech, and mind of the victorious one, please purify my body, speech, and mind, and thus transform it into your body, speech, and mind. Protector, as you made offerings and delighted the sublime Lama, likewise may I always offer ocean-like clouds of offerings and delight you. May I follow in your footsteps. May I perform limitless activities that do not even waver a hair's tip with respect to the liberation of your body, speech, and mind. May I be renowned in the 3 worlds. Thus may anybody, just by hearing my name or remembering me, be completely liberated from tormenting suffering and attain the state of great bliss of the victorious ones. May I turn into any form equal to the expanse of sentient beings, taming them according to their needs. Thereupon may they take refuge joyfully and be established in the unsurpassed supreme awakening. Those ones who are oppressed with shrouds of ignorance, who lost the path, who are threatened by afflicting emotions, such as the henchmen of the Lord of Death, may helplessly remember me and instantly find the supreme path, becoming the inexhaustible wheel of ornamentation, which is body, speech, and mind of all the victorious ones of the three times. May I completely dry out the ocean of samsara and establish all sentient beings in the unsurpassed supreme state. In all my lives, may I never be separated from the authentic Lama and enjoy the glories of the Dharma. By completely perfecting the qualities of Bhumis and Path, may I swiftly attain the state of Vajradhara.
The light is green.
Is the button on
the big mic, you mean?
Yeah.
The electric dog on.
Rinpoche Wangrup Nangsi Nganara that's a lab song swan. Then you get a stash shake mallet. Then you can say she has or tumble tell us such a still in here. Telling us so Jiro Savin Sama. The Chiva Leka Karina Lamdo Yumia, something choosing topic, Riva use. What in a Rinpoche that I Wangrup nothing on the Milarepa goes ma the lobs on the Milarepa goes or the Wangrup Chisela. Thing on the last thing in the day, Chasha was fishing mountains. This is, of course, the one time I have been working as the remarks a lot on Yamtra. What a chi or Jetam Melody and Gorto, so she'll have Chimbo, the Tangazo, and you thought George Shelley, your majorly, your Aunt George Shelley, Kashi Yabon, Kashi Yabon, Dola, they you know, this Pentos, you got the name Malodin, teach him to a Melody or Tita.
De kan komma det. Det I kämpar till det. Jag tycker att det går innan jag recording så då. Det är tiny går så det.
Ja, ja. Ja.
Jag får komma då.
Ja. Then decided. This okay, I think so.
Dashidele, Losa Dashidele, actually a happy new year to everyone. And so now Garchen Rinpoche is doing the self-empowerment for the Milarepa empowerment this afternoon. And so Rinpoche asked me to give some teachings on Milarepa in the meantime. And so actually I don't feel that I know really what to say. And anyways, we're going to go through a few songs by Milarepa. And just in general, those songs by Milarepa actually possess a lot of blessings. And there is some of them, most of them, that have been translated into English, and some have not been translated, which is one of those that we are dealing with today. And yeah, there's some people have really reported that they really like Milarepa songs and the translation and so on. So it's good to hear about Milarepa songs because his teachings really have a lot of blessings.
저는 지금 말하래 봐. 다시 ramding 남포에서 내가 이게 계속 뒤에 노어도 살이. 我在这趟呢，这就马丁这么子，ramding一下，ram，的蛮秀是噻，我在这趟这就没了，人发当国忙不接有啊，我当国忙不接，我从国忙签毛有的，天天做那嘛是来的，他们这个那些实际这边在国南塔实际这边，实际这边南塔没来这边南塔上面的，我在实际这边是这个没来这边国直接空间用是那么多，国直接。空间用是忙不学的做学的是，忙是看出他新看的怕点点学习是，空直接节用是很多，但我做这个他直接节要么了，我这边呢，他们那里面国州是有了，国州，我当国州那跟国节那马子落过，他听国州这这趟，听上切不接是啥些有什么嘞？国州这切不接忙不有什么嘞？听国州那里，但国州这国忙不有人国出去不嘛嘞？听那国是。这马路过的，我他在Jetsun Milarepa的ramding那铺下来修的嘞，是Rinchen Dorje插花，是那多他养Rinchen Dorje，养Jetsun Milarepa，简单Rinchen Dorje插花你，也是你这是拉起ramding嘛ramding是吧？ramding修的是Rinchen把敲在前部，他这就可吃大，是的Rinchen敲在前部，他这就吃家嘞，吃哪嘞，种多，我他这还新这个啥嘛。
So this is a song of the many songs by Milarepa, and there is many different collections actually of his teachings. There's the well-known 100,000 songs of Milarepa, and then there is another collection. For example, there's many collections, but there's one by Shigirepa. And it says that in there you have like 10,000 songs of realization. And so most of them were given in the presence of Dakinis. And so we won't go into the most of them we have actually not received. So we won't go into any of that. But there is this song, actually it consists of 6 songs. And it has not been translated, but it's actually well known. Like it's appears in various texts. So we will deal with one of those songs. So it begins with. So there was a time when Jetsun Milarepa was staying in a cave in Rapting, which is in Lapchim, a cave in Lapchim. And he was staying together with his disciple Rinchen Dorje. And at that time, Milarepa gave instructions to Rinchen on the co-emergent unification of Mahamudra. So he received Mahamudra teachings at that time, Rinchen did.
真的这种多，当我一了偏不去，是我一了偏不去。他现在同跟俺了，有人不送，他现在同跟俺了，有人不送我这话讲，这穷巴的。等眼子，看到，等眼子试一下，等眼子说的，等参的下边那卡试一下吧，等参下边那卡，他推参的啥来讲，等眼子提的说，下边那卡了，下边那路可让一两节节别。的人都是，他现在这边，我让的人都是，他可能在娘娘的，现在多半的甚至接我说的话，这里那边那么多半那么杨梅，娘把穷是吧？他那多半那是那么没来的朋友嘛的，但我让我那小子全部多送上，我才让我给，我在第一关过是的嘛。
So then he received those instructions on Mahamudra. Rinchen did, and then he meditated on these instructions. And so when he was staying in this state of Mahamudra, he was resting in this clear and empty natural state of the mind for a very long time. And then after that, he came out of his samadhi, so he was done with his session. And when he was done with his session, Rinchen thought that I really have had an experience of this natural co-emergent state of the mind. I've experienced the natural state of the mind. And he also thought that the guru probably, the guru cannot possibly have a greater realization than I just had. So he was thinking that to himself.
真的就是Rinchen la me chung tu chur chin res ta la me chung chu song do te tin do la me chung chur song du la me zong nes hu re chung ba ta hu re chung ba se ta ji ti me le song song re chung ba se chu na zo xiong du le tang bo ba la gom gi jong gom je tu tang ri pe ken char go 가람 더 있어요. 왔다. 지상 조선 나서 숑바레 당부 다 공항도 공항 제출다 제 리펜 철고도 어스도 있다. 이나 더 제방감에 존나서 앞에 이런 쇼리서 왔다 제방에 말해 좀 상제 창조 선배 주관자라. 같이 배샤 상제 좀 된데 군들라 군가고 주바레 세다 마모제 라야도. 왔다 진주제 티 다 랑쇼 그가바 존나서 앞에 기타 가바 된 바레스. Dans tout le monde qui est ici, mais tout le monde qui est ici, reste. What it is, des laba. Topa lama la yam me yam dobate, ngaja shavai, so that lama last lama mizan says it in ngajaris. Ngajata party. What in Milarepa, the Garchen azon, Marvet and Zons, due to ngajar che ozons, do not check out ngajari. Marvet and Zons, Marvik, due to ngajar che ozons, was on one thing, Karsana, not so the ngajar you did some goes on Karina, Nana Yabu in some delicate. The young wrote of Mati got to see the Huri. Topajinata, Machine do it, some Kayatin, you're reading. Nana Yabu in some to the Dukus of the child. The thing goes to your Matanga Jatik. Marie.
So then Rinpoche went to have a talk with Milarepa, and then Milarepa said to him, my son Rinpoche, you're young and a beginning practitioner. And he said that the experience that you had, so Rinpoche before shared his great experience of Mahamudra. So then Milarepa said, the experience that you had in meditation was seems to be not bad, actually. And that is the result of the merit that you have accumulated in the past. That is why now you have this fortune. So also what he maybe refers to is that, for example, in the time of the Buddha, there was the disciple Ananda and so forth. So they also like following the like the Buddha. In a way, they are like emanations of the Buddha. So that is the kind of the good part. So he praised him for that. And so he said that so this is a great merit and it's good. And he said that, however, the experience that you had is like more like an ordinary, a common experience of samadhi, of meditation. But then you also had this thought that the guru probably doesn't have greater realization than you. And that is a state of pride. And so actually, elsewhere, Marpa actually told Milarepa that pride in the practice is actually the greatest obstacle, the greatest hindering mara in your practice. So no matter what practice you do, whether you learn or you reflect or you meditate, if you feel really that you are so great, I'm doing so well in the practice, and that probably everyone else is worse and nobody has an experience like I do, then if you feel that way, then you probably cannot progress in your practice. So in that sense, the pride becomes a hindrance to your practice.
당부 흉제 참아 롭종시라 당안 개파 인가 다 그메 군제 베카게 양시 인저 다 이사 아래 잠송시 코나고나 되지 담아자 있는 거 좀시 담아 안 되지 나자 있는 당가 도스 그러면 도스 하면 뭐 좀세
There was a Lama, the Drupon holiness, and he was very, actually quite well versed in the scriptures, had a very good understanding of the scriptures, and also he was said to be the rebirth, reincarnation of a great master of the Drukpa Kagyu lineage called Gunchen Beka. And so, anyways, because this Gunchen Beka, his previous life, was a great scholar, he also in this life he was a kind of a good scholar. He felt that I'm a great scholar, and there's probably no one who knows the scriptures better than I do. Until one day he received some teachings from another Lama, another teacher, who explained really the crucial points of the scriptures. And after he heard these instructions, he felt that actually there is probably no one worse than me about those scriptures, and he broke out crying.
then that is legitimate to tell a gom kitaba. Your is the Yadom Chista Domton and Narrow Cheetos again, the Mamachino. Gom kitaba, your is that in Lama, I just then gom to jam to Grisina. Jobashi, Yafashi, the part Dom sent Sinchi is some of the money. Dam Goresta, Yadom Center, Chijin Yam Toti, Ton, Parganga, Yab, the Tories, or Tangi, Parganga, Tayabos, my Yugos, Ila Sona, Kovachi, Zones, the Datu Concord Jesus, is that one? Datu Landor Concord Jesus.
So then Milarepa goes on saying that so this experience, this pride, that is obscuring your actual meditation. So therefore you should confess that, and you should commit yourself to not again fall into that mistake. And so then he said, and then I am going to explain to you in great detail the true experience of meditation. So listen well to this song. So then he sang this song of the natural liberation of mental elaborations.
That's in Guatemala, Marze Logo. They change chewing Yankee Portones, chewing number Sali, my Huji. Not what Drupon Rinchen Dorje, change of Marvel, let's say, shall do start the control of the Sarah. Show you that that's over Zavila Mat Marvel. What that's on what they watching Puchu Portone. Chew Topate, that you in Yoa, Maris, my hoodie. Then that's what drew at it, some gentleman can't count it, drew at danger is. What in do that change of Marvel? Geo not touch also. The Marvel settled. Do jeans that humble Lamat, Chobar Jobarwa.
So then the song begins, and first Milarepa offers a few words of homage to his own guru. And so he wrote Guru Marpa, and he says, so within the great bliss palace of the Dharma Dhatu, you remain within the pure Dharma Dhatu space unwaveringly. And while you remain there unwaveringly, you appear in various ways in order to benefit sentient beings. I bow down, I prostrate to this great being, Marpa Lotsawa.
That is the Karzon Dosan. That change up, so what is Milarepa Koranda, change up Sola, Namto Topan Charva, change laws that, Marvik the change labro cheese on the one. There's on Hendrix.
And so then he goes on supplicating Marpam. I'm saying that please grant your blessings that the experience of true meditation and realization may dawn within the minds of myself and all my followers.
That's in Kashi, big on the one. What in who like Barnon, the Rechung Bastard, Yabonia, Stachana, Yabonias. 同来边说些你都这差是同大子咱们要不当时都这差是这种没着吧这种都这差不了吧都这差是落行这落一这就这穷吧是我在落这做差不多嘛要我年轻人是在落差不多嘛要我年做学生在同大这是也他什么的他这个可不得是多年轻人发现这穷来票对吧真的年米上街咱们拉是但年米但年米上街咱们拉是咱什么的啦这边去别人把呢是吧他这边去别人把是吧他玩嘛老想这个这嘛
And so then Milarepa addresses Rinpoche and he said, "My son Rinpoche, please listen well to these instructions and reflect upon the meaning of my words carefully. Do not be distracted, but listen carefully. I'm going to share instructions with you on the profound path of the Buddha that is without decline."
我打唐布的那么多，唐布天桥你看公司，没谁这张写吧其实我打唐布的，我做娘俩记得天桥你个话光过来种多，但他开清不的我当初经常其他的在大半唐布进把咱们当，有二次多是第三路当嘛头的，常常用这个吧。我当今天总共去现在没啥办样，但是他总有了当的工钱呢。我天天听那可是呢，但看办这些呢，民都点不过来，送了天天那种研究什么的是过去的话，我天天可是呢，唐布在天桥你个吧，光过是，我当初但这当没路特别了，可是呢没路车的，忙不是也把车有了，没路天桥可是没路，可是呢天桥没路是，没路人不去是，可是没路站不是，没路站明白，可是没路去不去是，但没路呢也把总是车多别吃可以呢。我这次小队他，我做他天桥没有特别没有人不去特别没给钱的，可是呢在但天桥就比有了，就比比较忙长的了，一开始他这边那我那个里可不得是多，忙不起个吧，我提把几长的比给钱的，但我那说的你就把就提个那长的比给钱的，我听对的，我这咱没有人不去人，我做，这趟咱本来呢我做，平常没忙不就有的，我提长嘛的没有人不去特别现在公布的他。这趟没留咱们了吧？我这里听我做上节点把当节给月一年节，他听叫你就不那忙不睡了，我提长嘛我做长的些，听对咱没留，所以我听我做听叫你个话，什么当的几部片子嘛，他这我做这开钱不行吧？这推出出来马上嘛，我听我做这年去过学的，我没事一把些，但呢没留做听上头的了嘛的是。我那做可是呢，这帮人不，也没说那么错杂。我这他托上工作忙不起呢，他这我做天桥没有错的，这是么这个，这个是他这错的嘛，是他这趟的别过你个吧，就过你长个你个是忙不起有了吧？我这他长个过你个吧，这想别想着你把啥个对那一点是，我这你把啥钱不对那一天那一这是，他这种我来通州这种提供卡啥一大这种天用相对他没这种他的没这种天用个这种有了，我什么对咱们天州拉了，我在天州吃的长期钢琴呢，别想着想那俺那做经常啥子一个这种充满着点啥子要看这，这个可以没张啥有了吧，这啥穷穷节去拿着吧，我这我做天州这，他当我就没有要过特别的对呢。他是推出出来，没当咱们什么也不当那个那说的，就去那么，但呢，你们俩去要尊重的偏给的。我托上工作可以去那个那说的，你看没有呢，全出来没当咱，这咱们都当我开心不人多。
So then he begins with the instruction and he says that first it is important that you meditate on the difficulty of finding a precious human body because it is extremely hard. You have to know that it is extremely hard to find such a human birth. And so the first teaching is on the difficulty of finding a precious human body, and that is where we all begin the path. However, nowadays sometimes people pay more attention and more interest that in those higher teachings, and they're not really interested in those fundamental teachings. But Jigten Sumgön actually said in the Gongchik that to me the preliminary practices are even more profound than the main part practices, those higher, so-called higher practices. So these preliminary practices where we develop a sense of renunciation are like the foundation of a building that you want to build, and that foundation must be very stable. So the first reflection is to reflect on the difficulty of finding a precious human body. In the different scriptures, people make various divisions on what kind of human bodies there are. So there are sometimes 3 divisions. There are those who have a precious human body, and then there is ordinary human beings, and then there is those who are quite, how I say, like destructive kind of human beings. So we all can actually say that we have a precious human body. And there are 18 qualities that make our body a precious human body. And so we won't go into much detail here, but basically there are 8 freedoms and 10 fortunes that we can probably say we all possess. And so in this world, for example, there is many human beings, but those who actually possess a precious human body are not so many actually. So we, for example, have encountered the Buddha's teachings, and we have met with a spiritual teacher who explains to us the Dharma, and we engage in practice. And all of these conditions make our existence a precious human existence. And so it's not enough to just know about that. We really actually have to apply that into our lives. And that means that you really recognize that I have a precious human body, and I am going to practice in this life. I am not going to just waste away my time, because it's very difficult to find the precious human body again. And also this precious human body, you actually have not obtained it for no reason, actually. Actually, in previous lives, you have accumulated a lot of merit, and you already have practiced learning, reflecting, and meditating, and so on. And as a result of all that, you now have a precious human body. So we reflect on that, on the difficulty of finding a precious human body in terms of its causes, and in terms of various illustrations, and in terms of numbers. For example, in terms of numbers, the scriptures mention that there are as many hell beings as there are particles, like atomic particles, in this entire world. And then there is less hungry spirits and less animals and so on. And when we get to humans and gods, it becomes very few. It is said that there are only as many gods and humans combined as there are particles on a single fingernail. Or for example, in summertime, when we look at an ant colony, an ant's nest, probably there are more insects there than there are people in a certain country in the world. So it's very hard actually to find a precious human body, so you should think that you should recognize that and be determined to not waste your time, but to engage in Dharma practice. So knowing that you have a precious human body helps you to be diligent in your practice of listening, reflecting, and meditating.
Tene jidang tata de be gang ni gawa je yura ta be gang de ni lu be shara ta mamu je la ya ora ina da be khaji te sha ore chang go thangbo ze gang zhe ma bara gang do je ti gang do zi ge chang din din do ze zhe ma bara gang do ji na te do zi ba re sing ne ji ka le kha bora te le me lu tu ya ga yore song re.
And in terms of illustrations or examples that show how difficult it is to find the precious human body, there is this one example in the scriptures that say, it is as difficult to find a precious human body as it is to when you throw a dry bean or like a pea onto the wall. It's very unlikely that it will stick to the wall, but it is not entirely impossible. So there's a slight possibility that it will stick to the wall, but it's more difficult to find a precious human body.
Tene tatri tizongdo, tane chiba, tene chiba, metaguams, nam shami nying la som, zongdo malarivik. Or tatri tal, ngazo jitani de lodoshi, labgra lodoshi seriata, kurva solo dog of it. Or tati chiba matarin daughter, chiba mataguam goris. Or then chiba mata guamatom, danzi chimbo, dafanti, but chimbo, you're not city, chamni, chancho, and don't eat about it, so yeah, this gully cover it. Garchen, also Zibat Chimbo, you're that go Kadishi go social mar so. Nam Chemi Yang Soms. Nazo, one in Kazi, so the sounding around so Bechan, another Sandy Sigma, so they laughed him and around clap to Marita. How could I mara? What a Nam Chemi is terrible. The tongue around so Jetanti Techindo, Mambo Zeta. That you are some no shit out, Marco. Tip hops the Jing and Chiundu. Tenepe 강연 technota 그 삼성 카레 센터 정도 등하랑 지고 가는 점은 좀 무슨 그렇게 센터 정도 저때 소소 지고 말해 되고 네 그때 소소소 때마다 같이 왔을 때 뒤소 티강 그 티강로야 마토요 말해 어때인데 등가 좀 매상 같이 봐도 양네 양도 고나 다시天조니 거 같은 인고 량 토야 편게래 어때 편게래 되네 치와 주를 제선데 뒤소 출라 땅 말해 다 소소소 치와 여보 주 제선나 나 유령 보다 돼야 점놈이 있어 디토 말해 다 배상다 생각서 뭐제 체rin 효는 로자 차스 때 노팅상 어다 체rin 효도 자라 아스는 데 효래 다 디고 뭐 체rin 효래다 들리는서 요 말해 근데 나랑 치와 마타티 야보 스고함 톰나 야보 그래 되면 다제 삼삼티 쟁양 치우 소소 동안도 대 동안 연구 말해 마타티 양네 양도 검도잖아 Milarepa Sonura, Garcia. Not Chivian Jane the Relachins, not Chivian Jane the Retula Sonis, Nam Chemi Samsanes, Nam Chemi Samsan, some of the Dantanis, Chivian Jipa Horntis, what is the Matagum, did it? Matata Juya Jason, then Yamamaji Raman Yosamari, then Yamazi which you want to then, showing the look to Sotona, then Chivian Jiquat, the Milarepa Horn of Yosara. What in doing around so think you are Matata, these you jet up. Some of them were Bechanders, that tarring was it, Mambo's Gumia, Chino, Jikan City, now she's some chance that Mamboji, the Shung to Yoruba. There's some Matana, so ye want to country to that. Rant a low and young battles of country to that. This was some of the Indo that. What in Ranke near quarters of some of them. What don't you want to country? Then now you rant and now you live it. Tiva got that, not to take that in your thing, Boyabone, Yamne Yabu cheese, what there is some of these Stanton Pentoys.
So then next it says, and then you should meditate on death and impermanence, and meditate on the fact that you don't know the timing of your death. This has to arise from deep within. So the next point of the four thoughts that turn the mind away from samsara is the reflection on death and impermanence. And it is mainly because we are grasping at a self very strongly that it is very difficult for us to cultivate love and compassion and bodhicitta and to realize emptiness. So that is difficult because our fixation to ourselves is very strong. But then we don't know when we are going to die. For example, I cannot say for sure I'm not going to die tomorrow. I can't say that. Nobody can say that. But people generally don't really think so much about death. And then when something suddenly happens and they are facing death, then that throws them into a state of complete shock and misery. And they feel that, why me? It's just me. It's not just you, actually. Everyone actually gets there. And when the karmic time is right. And there's no other place for anyone to go than to die. So when we know that, then we really will make best use of this life and engage in practice. So when this thought of death is really arising in our mind, we are not going to waste our time because we know I'm not going to stay for a long time. For example, nowadays, at probably the most, people get maybe 100 years old, but mostly not much longer. So we don't have so much time actually. And then we don't know when death actually strikes, when we encounter any kind of condition that leads to our death. So if that is very clear in your mind, then when that time comes, you will not be overwhelmed by that so much. For example, Milarepa also had said elsewhere that first I went into the mountains to meditate, fearing death, and I reflected on the uncertainty of death, the timing of death. And now, finally, I have given up all fear of death. I've realized the deathless state of the Dharmakaya. So when impermanence really arises in your mind, then you almost cannot help but practice. You have to practice. And as a result of practice, you realize the true nature of the mind, and then all fear of death naturally goes away. You realize deathlessness. So when we reflect on impermanence, then in the scriptures there's many different explanations on how to do that, but often they are kind of distant examples. For example, we reflect on the impermanence of the outer world, the universe, and then all those sentient beings and so on. But it might be better to more think about it in terms of what happens around you in a very direct way, not think too far away. For example, think about someone who is of a similar age than you and who has passed away, or how many people that you have known have passed away and so on. What is really changing and happening around you? So when you understand impermanence, when that is really clear in your mind, then you will really make this precious human life very meaningful. So that's why it's so important to think about this. So when you're really clear about impermanence, death and impermanence, then when you encounter some difficulty, then that will really help you to put that into the right perspective. Even if you don't really understand or have realized the true nature of all phenomena or your mind, at least you are prepared for that to happen, because this is something that actually is going to happen to everyone. Those teachings really just explain to us what really is. We are not creating something that doesn't exist, but death is really something that everyone has to face.
Tujinar the Jerbon Roja, Lonchun Zatan, Yehim, Jibit in the Carnical, Lin Chamashi, Johnson. What I Jerbo in the Royak to suit Lemna, then Matashi, to suit Lemna. Koran Jail Candles, a legend in Jangrism. Tagging much Korans and Korea at Mamma Carona, Summer, Pentokamanga, Master. Jerotele, Yabosin, Jibidevanyat, Mege, Jim Jibidungan, Koranti on the Soso Gerk, Yamunia at Talenjet. What I needed to choose like your marriage to Mazat. What I choose John Doya your marriage. What is a better kind of what because men the Tom and Jolly and long chaffee sing as it. That made 장모 차지를 다 참말란 뒤로 이런 말 차지를 이거는 지금 장모 차지요 말아 와테니나 롱트소 샤프리 신지그리 신교 말아테니나 레지 나미르 메시스 와타 레나미텔로 지히 말레스 와테송 와테가 소 레줌데서 야보 송 고쇼리 소소 개바 다 레지탄 렌데 개바 주 메게 주샤 테 마보송 거라 와테 테소 다제 메게 테소 칸톱서 바 개바테소 칸톱서 드롭 고쇼 당가라서 테 제탄 따반 토보 나도 담 마보도 와타 카시 따반 토보 요소 따반 토나 렌데 테송 고쇼리 따반 마보이나 티게 나이 송 고쇼리 카르산 텔로베 송요와 나로바 나와 덴제 전중데 제바 메베 마토바스我那么点这是这把马头吧，从你今天过了，这把马进那罗巴送去了，我这对，看对那上马几块三连这送过去了，那做，我这连这送的那那做，他没要不是没给就其他没记，给我就去了就没记错那没通切给的，可是呢，可没要不说是那个话，我这对，那做这做他这那看了偏给的，最起码了的，就这些路还没把心的偏给的，我这就是怎么要不当过去的是。
Then next he says, next you should reflect upon karma, cause and effect, and reflect upon the shortcomings of non-virtuous actions and the benefits of virtuous actions. So everything relies on its causes and conditions. So when the cause is virtuous, then the result is happiness. And when the cause is non-virtuous, then the result is suffering. There is a sutra that is called the Buddha gave a teaching to the king. And in that sutra, the Buddha said that when the time has come, then even a protected, well-guarded king will have to die. And when he dies, his karma will follow him just like the shadow of one's body. And then all that king's might and power and their subjects and army and so on, none of that will be of any benefit. If the king has accumulated virtuous actions, he will experience happiness after death, and if he engaged in many evil deeds, he will experience suffering. But karma is unfailing, and it will not just disappear. It will not just become something else. In some other scriptures, it says that it is possible for fire to go cold. Actually, that's not possible, but it's even less likely that karma will change, so it cannot change. And it also says it is still possible that you could catch the wind with a lasso, but it's not possible for karma to change. So now you have a precious human body as the result of your own actions, your own karma, your virtuous karma. And knowing about that, we should make the greatest effort to avoid non-virtuous actions. We talk about the 10 non-virtuous actions, and to practice the 10 virtuous actions as much as we can. And karma applies to everyone. Even someone who has a higher realization, still they have to follow the law of karma. Doesn't matter who it is. And Tilopa once said to Naropa that all appearances are interconnected, and therefore, until you attain the state of enlightenment, you must collect the 2 accumulations, or you must observe karma, these 2 accumulations being just like the 2 wheels of a chariot. You need them until you attain enlightenment. So until then, we have to observe karma. And actually, just in a short term, just in this life, for example, a person who refrains from the 10 non-virtuous actions and who practices the 10 virtuous actions, even in an ordinary society, that person will be considered to be a good person. So it's of great benefit in this life and also clearly in future lives. So understanding karma is important because karma, cause and effect, is unfailing.
Then the Zondoda, Mega Dikwa Chibintu, Miendro Jane, Job Jobs, or that in Korean made some language. Talodo, she said, I'm not in Korean made her. They give a chin dibutan to Rita the Meek Comato Yandom. Mega chin dibuta, Yanson some Giandom, what that do is on the what in the Tangaranso. Jetan Yanson some tea to do no tongue matter, the Yada, he had tongue Mara. Tatang has some Melunda on some of the Dansho, that came back Nikaspa, or the Melunda was some of the Dana and also direct sale, they don't not so. Or time Masari and Ajido Naso, Manda and Mambo Juranganaso. What is some so near my legend detail and Netanga some correct Jedi. What a Jedi to reach home to her, then correct on Jewish Yongori. Or the Jetsun Milarepa Carzon was in a Shedanchi Nanya draws, that Shedanchi Nanya draw is, never Jagris. Kare Sana Chena Yada draws. Or the net demo Chena to draws. Dochachina may draws, Tondochina Hami draw. Or the neck Najachin High draws, Metatarve draw to east, then Metatarando draw to this on door. Tankurati draw to good the job the race on door, or tender one. Jetan said, I top the human, think we're not eating to make it so you know. Then Korea don't have to know the shore. Malaria, the John Korea don't have the sun and you know Chapo dancing as a wonder than you do. Or the Malaria only what it century in the water. Maranto Malaria, that's it on Sinat, Nazo Tendridor, so they don't mumble the young Nicarina, some daughter, that you are in a little dinner to show the Korea, then I mean young Korea. What they do around to Tata Yabo Chegina, then it's on the Jima. Yabo Yungri, Kasan said, Chimala Yabon, that Semina Yabo Yunzi, so legend de Yabos on Dojin. Or Nazo Hawk Page, Nama, Kanji Tati Lula dos, Chimakaji, Tati Lil Das, or that and Zunga, what no, that's chocolate, so, or legend de Yabozon, or then that Korean Nazo. Some gentle Mao the Dunga, that's some gentleman, you're one on some tone that she nothing. The children near the your bitch on a cooking man on it or some gentle. What the only Daniel was Sanya China, they in the middle stream at all. Since Chapa on the Tendura, to do things on German. What is some of that? You hear more water. What and reason not done, correct, it's a Tandu close, Jacob, Tankurin, now then Korean you made the word is on the Jacomara. What it Tandu slow did you? Jacob is on it, that is all.
So then he says, no, through the force of having engaged in negative actions or misdeeds, you're taking birth in the 3 lower realms. So he explains the workings of karma, and also here we are reflecting on the faults of samsara. So basically, as a result of practicing virtue, we take birth in higher realms like gods and humans, and as a result of non-virtuous actions, we take birth in the 3 lower realms. And after 3 lower realms, we can actually only directly see the animal realm right now. We can't see the hungry spirits and so on. But even not even thinking about the lower realms now, if you just think about our own lives as human beings, human beings in this world experience all kinds of different levels of happiness and suffering. Even within one family or one place, people have different experiences. And all of that is the result of their actions that they have committed in previous lives. As a result of that karma, we have now taken birth in samsara. We have to experience the results of our own actions. Also, Milarepa said that elsewhere that when anger is predominant, stronger, then it will bring you, it's like your companion also, to the hell realms. And greed or avarice is your companion bringing you to the hungry spirit realm. And when ignorance is predominant, it brings you to the animal realm. And when attachment is predominant, it brings you to the human realm. And when jealousy is predominant, it brings you to the demigod realm. And when pride is predominant, then the god realm. So the 6 afflictive emotions bring you to 6 places in samsara, where we have to experience the suffering that corresponds to that place. Milarepa also has said, when I think about the suffering of the 6 realms of samsara, my heart is hurting or aching. So when we have various experiences of happiness and suffering in our life, and why? It is because of our own actions in previous lives. So if we say that in a long term, because of previous actions in previous lives, now we experience suffering. And if we now engage in positive actions, then in future lives we will experience happiness. But often it even happens within one life. It might be the case that in the earlier parts of one's life, one experiences a great amount of suffering. And then things change, one practices and one observes the law of karma, and then in the later part of one's life, one experiences happiness. There's this saying in Tibet, we say, if you wish to know what you did in the past, look at your present life, your present situation. And if you wish to know where you will go next, look at your present actions. So that is an encouragement to follow the law of karma. And so in samsara, there are many sentient beings experiencing all kinds of suffering. For example, there is certain sentient beings who are living in the waters, or even who somehow are like stuck within fire and so on, which could be one of them, the different hells, the hot hells and so on. And the animals are also burned and so on. So there is a lot of suffering that we can see. And that is what we need to first recognize. And then also we need to develop a wish to become free from this suffering. So that means it's not enough if we just think it's all so bad, but we also need to then have a wish to become free from suffering.
Tene da ngen ro zon jena job jobs lama gon cho zon ni this xian de sui jiang job menus jiang zhou zao jiang yan la du ne lo tong dang ma jie na kare ko bian to me ma to bi number 2ga me ni zong shuo yang da tong ne yang wa ta ten sa li wa ten lu tene da ngen song song jie ya ce su zai jia tu ma le guan xiao song jia zhou guo de sang ga lang su 我江州写他开心不了，哪怕上街呢，江州是那么多。我现在他这趟都秋季本来爱的下种，我今天中国公车那种多，开始呢，前两天把江州机送了，我在江州的公车上江州的，这趟在江州呢，忙不说江州呢忙不完的，当我从哪怕上街去路上的，公车上江州过去的，上街秋跟旅，我这是从过去了，他马上在写给他江州人把学弟进把来，他写了吧，我他今天呢，他上街是东半中去，秋的浪去，这主要的跟旅，我这种不明他没把事掐掉，当然了说，我在光学上加上着呢，我当年从东岸是今年子了，在光学上不是马上加出个嘛的他，在说这他的那现在我在这说江州从那加出个嘛的总有的，还是呢，江边等我那在看的过是呢，可能可能几块他的在用呢。 这家头个嘞，这马多家头个嘛是，这上街嘞种个的，就那嘛他说那么我种有，讲上街那些意思，我这他上街去，他主要的蓝的，秋的主要的跟旅过去了，我这旅，我这咱公交中不是开钱不掐的有嘞是，那么公交中你嘞是的，然后现在睡觉觉嘛，你说他现在睡觉头嘛嘞是的，他哪许多，我这江州早江去，我是家不是说早江去，也哪对吧？他不过嘞是的。 强车完究竟要把它做了，我原来是说，但是说是压张起来的，原来对吧？它，我这是不过的是压身呢，这个把压降身呢，但这把就把降回去了，早降的压身错啥，降身呢，这把是把降了吧？我早降起过的是，原来对不是，那路通的慢点呢，我这先跟那路通的慢点呢。 我身边的路他妈多，那这当中那手机不给，他上街突呀搞来看不来，种就是，但可别看那这他们那说写个的是， 어떤 number of terweka I mean is one number of terwek sanje sango the top mares 어다 들이 차데 어떤 인가 나서 점으로 캐친 보차도 원지편 좀 그 배차카시 나송 쇼를 가르송 오스나 벤츠단 캐파시 오스나 권초 좀 아마송은 넘바 상지크 주 마레스 어때 시라 메시르 제이나테 권초 좀 잡는데 넘바 상지레스 어다 권초 좀 잡송 마송데 넘바 상지 이면티 이와체하데 드린도 어때 권초 좀 잡는도 그 준찬 랑콜벤지 파자고我们这个这个小兄弟们，可能就把呀，他家光晓得，但是俺是接不上这修过学的，没嘞。
And so it says then, now, the only protection that we have from birth in the lower realms are our sources of refuge, or the three jewels. So no one else can protect us from falling into the three lower realms, aside from the refuge in the three jewels, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And so Atisha and also Jigten Sumgön have said in the Gongchik that the difference between Buddhist and non-Buddhist is that the refuge. Of course, in some other religions, everyone has their refuge. But in the Buddhist tradition, our refuge is threefold. We have the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And most of you are probably familiar with them. The Buddha is the teacher, the Dharma is the path, and the Sangha is the companion. And we are taking refuge in the three jewels in order to be protected from falling into the three lower realms. And it's only the three jewels who can grant us this protection. We cannot get that protection from anybody else, like some other powerful god or deity and so on, if they're worldly beings. And the reason is that in order to grant ultimate protection, one has to be someone that oneself has to be liberated from the suffering, the fears of samsara. Also in the Uttara Tantra, it is said, for this reason, our only true source of refuge is the Buddha, because the Buddha is entirely free from the suffering of samsara. And so then we have said the Dharma becomes then the path, and the Sangha the companion. So here it says then there is no one else, nothing else that can give you protection. And therefore it says, you should take refuge, and you should accumulate and purify by offering the 7 branches. And so the 7 branches are prostration, offerings, confession, and so forth. And together they are a method to purify obscurations and to accumulate merit, or to gather the 2 accumulations actually. And then he says that if you do not realize the natural state of your own mind, you will not become liberated from samsara. You will not find or reach the state of complete liberation. If we only, for example, were to accumulate merit but not realize the nature of the mind, then as a result of that, we will still take birth in samsara and not become completely liberated. So Jigten Sumgön also says in some other scriptures that even if one is a great scholar, a great pandita, if one does not seek refuge in the 3 jewels, one cannot reach the state of enlightenment. And so we have mentioned before that it is that taking refuge in the 3 jewels that makes one really be a Buddhist practitioner. And the reason why we should take refuge in the 3 jewels is because we want to be protected from the suffering, the fears of samsara. So it is not just for no reason. We just take refuge in the 3 jewels without knowing why, but there is a reason. It is because we want to be free from suffering.
이게 장제 라도 와다테 가서 제탄진 투모 그거로다 투모 많이 배우로서 예반인 세계라 와단 투모로도 로도 시지 투모 많이 배우로 점로서 대 마음 고조 대 돌셈테 단들이 양다내로 통군 다 디과 파장 고쇼래 디과 요요테내로 또 말아 와테인디 되네 나사 되게 이게 야 슬라인도다 이게 장스 와다 이게 아테타제 카리나 디과 장 컨트롤 초라제 차데 요사리 와다 베자카이나테 요 이게 한번 차제 된 자베 탐세 냠데시나 장투 그레스 테 많이 바치 고쇼사리 아니 와테치네 와송 요레 테네 제탄탄가 저 이게한테 다제 저 디과 야야한테 또 없이 정도 상고 쇼라 와테 다 도르셈 이게 안다시나 다 도르제스 바제 야테 때야지 도브리 때야지 도 자 나바 도르제 차이 바지 뭐 자베라마 공고 쇼랑아서 제상 아크로소치나 뭐 자베라마 치지 와테네 때야지 도브지 다 이게 뭐야 아테도 니뭐 가시 니뭐 군도 주부도 대차쇼서로 와테네 다 디과텔은 줘바지 다제 디과티 야고 멤버스 소시 제 순지 베톱스 와다 디그랩 진짜 매지 잠들잠 당만 당에 다다제 야 제일 치디선 디과티 창토쇼서 마티 cham이 데모스소나 가르존 줘바 미나 야프에 메다 제 진짜 돔셈미나 메다 아디즈 존과 진짜 돔셈민 다 말스 와테 테누 창토쇼서라 진짜 돔셈 고쇼데 돔베 톱스 데 톱시 와 상와치네 다 디과 카리나 야마토 레베오 마레 존레 와테 디디 다테 테르는데 상가 존 두두두두네
And then it says, if you wish to see the ultimate truth, you have to purify your previously accumulated obscurations and negativities by reciting the 100-syllable mantra. So here we are coming into, actually we are in the second step of the uncommon preliminaries. So there is the common preliminaries first, that are the 4 thoughts that turn the mind. And then there is the uncommon preliminaries, first of which was the refuge, and now the second is the recitation of Vajrasattva's 100-syllable mantra. And so it says that if you wish to see the nature of the mind, you have to purify your obscurations. If your mind is obscured, if there is negativities in your mind, you cannot see its true nature. And it is said that the most powerful method to do that, to purify one's negativities and obscurations, is the recitation of the 100-syllable mantra. And there are some scriptures say that if you recite 100,000 of the 100-syllable mantra, then that purifies all broken or degenerated roots and mayas. So when we practice the 100-syllable mantra in the context of Vajrasattva, then the confession or the purification occurs if we practice or apply 4 powers in our practice. The first one is called the power of support, and that would be to visualize Vajrasattva, the appearance of Vajrasattva, having the nature of your own root guru. That is usually how we visualize according to the Vajrayana. Then the second power is the power of the antidote, and that is the recitation of the 100-syllable mantra. And then the third power is the power of remorse, where you recognize the fault in all these negative actions and you feel regret. And then the fourth power is the power of a commitment, where you commit yourself to not again repeat these negative actions. And that's also crucial, because if we do something wrong and we confess it, just to do it again and then again confess it, then actually in this way we can't really purify it, even if we confess it. But we also need to have a commitment within ourselves to not again and again repeat the same negative action. In Changme's prayer of Sukhavati, it says that if you do not develop a sense of remorse and a commitment to not repeat those negative actions, then those negative actions will not become purified. So if you practice applying all 4 powers, then it is said that all negativities and all obscurations can become purified.
근데 딕바 소소 딕바 요나 딕바를 연태미 디야나 타야요 딕페 연태 이종 거 다 이게서 좀 야토그로 대지 전에 잔들의 세종도 맨제라서 맨제 소지 소니 사스라피도 다들 맨제 부거리 좀 교사다 책지랑도 다 맨제 생각 지탕 지난 가서 다 소남 다 딕바의 파장 다 소남 소소 거 그러나서 저는 다 소남 소소야 다 약효스 맨제를 다시요 말이스 다 저거 등가서 내기를 참아 주의도 됐다 가로나 참아대 디나 사미 변조 표선 소바 가르 원한테 참아 주의네다 남아 권초선 표고효라 어때 표야대 믹스인데 시초제 요사다 맨제 손이 자고나 초스 추와 레존 거다 대주 신득사 단일 마음만 볼때도
And so then next it says, and so then by offering them mandala, you are accumulating or gathering the 2 accumulations. First we have purified our obscurations, and it is said that in general negative deeds have no good qualities. However, if they had one good quality, then it is their potential to become purified by laying it aside. So that now we have purified our obscurations, and then after that we also have to accumulate merit. And the best way to accumulate merit is to offer the mandala, consisting of Mount Meru and 4 continents and so on, and also all the enjoyments and wealth of gods and humans. And all of that is offered up to the guru and the three jewels. So that is said to be the most powerful way to accumulate merit.
大听就这陈建拉嘛在就拉嘛堂东口茶铺说话的土一节是奶奶总许多我大在拉面呢就那科学啥的我在陈建在为拉嘛的说在为拉嘛水那的被俺让村这些接近个钱的么子我那个拉嘛多把堂点的是我说拉嘛点上马诺的这里我的等着说话咱们说其他们就会这个我说没会要不过学的没会的开钱不下的有让俺娘们青年人呢没会东西差不多说话的是啷多今天中午在公街呢多花节他没会困难一种小有啊我这个不被送入的可是我可举办的其他举办因为没会没呢那面其他没有呢的可是多花节头嘛的送入吧我听的但没会没呢其他没是的没会没其他有嘛的俺就的那么可是桥上个电脑有那么过去看的了没会你妈妈下其他去就没就是我这种多在那么在看着这边下的没会你妈下的但你妈妈帮那看着这吧那批长毛咱们的长的中顶在吃吧变差不下这个吧这没会你妈在帮那这说其他这东西来或者是说没会没那他别有嘛的我听的我这别是那些这我这没会东西差不多吧大是土一节一天我这那么的土一节一天这把起过来没会钱不用呢没会钱不有的看啥节用那这别下开心呢这种多这那么土一节一天这说我这里这娘的话就是没会几乎去上节这样有的可能早子新闻那老多说的我这里这没会去钱不下多少的
And the next is the practice of the Guru Yoga. And it says, when you supplicate your root, the root and lineage gurus who have been very kind, when you supplicate them with intense devotion, then your mind will merge with their enlightened mind. So, for example, in our case, that would be Garchen Rinpoche, our kind root guru, and he is really a guru that possesses highest realization and really an unmistaken a guru that we can rely on. And if we supplicate the guru, if we serve the guru, then blessings will enter our mind. In the Vajrayana, actually, devotion is really very important. Chikden Somgen also said in the Gongchik that true realization can only arise if devotion first arises in your mind. And also Gambopa had said, blessings only emerge through devotion. Without devotion, realization really cannot arise in your mind. In the fivefold path of Mahamudra, it says in the Guru Yoga section that unless the sun of devotion shines upon the snow mountain of the Guru's four kayas, the current of blessings will not emerge. So the Guru is like a snow mountain, and your own devotion is like the sun. And when there is no sun, when it's very cold, then the snow mountain will just be ice, and it cannot melt, so there is no blessings, basically. But when the sun is shining on the snow mountain, it melts the snow, and then this stream of water, of blessings, emerges. And so then, as a result of that, then your mind merges with the mind of the Guru. It says also in some scriptures that through Guru devotion, when you're merging your mind with the Guru's mind into one, as a result of this merging, a real experience of the natural state and realization of the view of Mahamudra arises in your mind, and finally you reach the state of enlightenment. So therefore, the devotion to the Guru is really very important.
Semne menga reamshila sene ta semne yak menga so reamshila gores neba jungzi jeba tans neba jungzi jeba na reamshi chi hindu chi ba kes ne lo zawa yin be chas la la da hindu ga sla bin do oda semt menga so de reamshi ma chi gores de shine da ta nyam jungzi je di nas reamshi taron chi gores de nyamna chi de so nyamna chi he chi ta nyamnyong so la ma de chodo chi he chi tin ju chi na de kyo sa de zo wa tin ju chi chi ki ba sa wa ta xin ne ne ba ju zi sa ta xi zo xin ne ko kyo sa de ne ba ju zi je ba tang sa la do ren ba xin tun chi ki ba sa wa de ren ba xin la ma de chodo de si si de nyamna chi he chi so nyamna chi de la ma la chi ban dang na de ro ba wa tin ju chi ne pa zo tin chi ki ba chi chi go res ne lo za ba yin be xia sa wa ta ne lo za ban de res La landa di shin du gas pardon le la no kan so le la wo shida yo ma se ga le ka bo yo res dis da no de je chung tari le la no ka la ra ko marwe.
So then these were the instructions on the ngundro, on the preliminary practices, and that is important for all of us to know. And just these instructions were very brief, just kind of like a reminder how important they are. So we remind ourselves, but maybe most of you won't even need that. Maybe you don't need the reminder, but still it's maybe good to sometimes mention it still. So next, after the preliminaries, Milarepa continues. So then, having received the preliminaries, having practiced the preliminaries, you receive the instructions on meditation for your mind to, first of all, the instructions for your mind to achieve a state of calm. So first, having received these instructions, as light experience of calm arises, and then you continue to practice continuously and in stages. So you meditate, you clarify your questions with your guru, you continue to meditate, and so forth. So in this way you gradually progress in the practice, and that is important because that is really, it says, the root of the natural state, of recognizing the natural state. And then he says, to some, it seems so easy. It may seem so easy, but actually it's not that easy. So he's telling that to Rejungpa, who thought that it's so easy to see the nature of mind.
근데 다들 정도 토삼 리페지네 토바다 다 토바 거레스 토바디 슬롭종라치 삼바 거레스 삼바 냠냠네 삼노당 거쇼 다디 토바 지부 멤버 삼노당 거 소소케 와서 삼노당나티 소디 소소소 냠뇽라디 시게레 다제 토바 잠케 냠뇽 시라제 토고 말데 삼바티 거쇼 데리 고암 거쇼 고암데 냠뇽 치에데 제게로 리페지네 데스 양다 통난 조시나 세와데 양다 크네로 우티 샘트 마노레 소손 조시나 지케 군이 초라 제 이사 샘네로 우티 시에소나 대군 초원로 그래 지케 군 조스 지케 군도 거버 직톱 셀람도 감보베 담아 거버 직톱 세메안다 그랬다 대직보 시에소나 녀모스마 마노토 그랬다 샘네로 도손 어때 그 지케 군이 초라이 까간다디 신데 라상테 파데나 갈리 카보 디스 레라 워스 고암 야고 시에소나
So then he continues, and so then you must learn, you must know, and then you have to reflect on that, you have to analyze it. So knowing something alone is not sufficient. You also have to gain an experience in what you know. So you know something, you learn something, and then you have to gain an experience by reflecting upon it, by actually applying that to your life, to your mind. And then you meditate on that, you really practice that until a real experience of it arises. And then, so it says, if you are unmistaken with regard to the true nature of the mind, then this state of certainty is the all-liberating single knowledge. And so, which is like a medicine, a single sufficient medicine. If you have this single tool of knowing the nature of your mind, then with that single method, you can overcome all the afflictive emotions. And so, because of that, Milarepa says, that seems so difficult, but actually it's not so difficult, it's very easy.
다튼 대종도 드네 냠뇽 된바에 라마 케파된 다 냠뇽 된 라마스 거셔리 배장 나좀 거치는 거 시샤샤는 다 무슨 곰잡들 봐 냠뇽 된 라마스 다 선주 차도고 진합 요래 라마티 코나 자베 라마스 말 진합 주디 티 똑반 포디 티 진합 요래 어디 진합 냠뇽 된 라마 케파선 소소 단 내로 그한 케파스 거셔리 어디 냠뇽 된 라마티 케파티 라마 케파 된 바르샤스 된 바르지스 어디 데 케친보레스 정도.
And then it says, and for that it is important to rely on skilled guru who possesses experience himself. And so such a skilled guru with experience, for example, is Garchen Rinpoche, who had spent his entire life meditating and who possesses many blessings. And it is also through the blessings of the root guru that the guru's realization then becomes transmitted from his mind to our minds. So a skilled guru is someone who is skilled in knowing the nature of the mind.
Dansang chuji gum nyam tes laman yang de devene labe nyam to mi nyam ba hu tuja chung be len ba is wa ta te chi khan chana gum ja di khiu nyam to yo za laman de la syo ma zan ta te chana nyam to laman de nyam to syo ma zan ta chana to pa mi stress ta to pa ki da ma ji to pa lob jong shi da chi ma to to pa lin do bo te yo ma to pa sa te hu to pa chung we san ju ye do yo ma ra te to pa sa 투자중 투배자중 tenzu yi yo mara la hab ta ban bo fu 투자중 we nen ba is wa ta 투자중 sina te res ka zan ti chana ti sam da ya so no chun ya so ta te chi ya ne te ko se da ra.
So Milarepa says to Rinpoche, now the other day when you had this meditative experience and you thought that the guru doesn't have any greater experience or greater realization, that thought in your mind actually is a sign that your learning, your knowledge, your learning is still not enough.
Then
we take a break, but Drupon won't leave, so you can just go.
Sorry, guys. This is quick, I swear. Okay, so anyone who is newly arrived today, please don't forget to check in with Terry at the bookstore and register. Very quickly, for those who are brand new to this place, we are entirely off-grid, so please be mindful of turning lights off behind you, power usage, no hair dryers, all that kind of stuff. Also,